with all the big calls on all the big races. Welcome back to What a Shout. Each morning we've been with you at the Cheltenham Festival. Live preview show, half an hour, rattling off at speed. Exactly what we think will be happening the day ahead. Happy Gold Cup Day, everyone, is the first thing to say. How has your week been? Get your comments in below. Like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook or anything. Twitter is hashtag What a Shout in conjunction with our sponsors Bet365. Okay, let's go down the panel. He's been joining me every week. He's still here. He's still breathing. Still pumping away. It's Paul Kealy. You were sort of jigging again a little bit to the music.
Yeah, I'm trying to dig myself up, but let's be honest, can't get it over quick enough. When's the Lincoln?
This time next week, man.
Things I never thought I'd say in my life.
Things I never thought I'd hear him say.
It couldn't have gone much worse for me, to be honest. You can't...
Is it, like me, is it a case of what might have been?
No, not really. I
Right.
mean, I've had a couple of big price places, but I haven't even had a real shout. I haven't had one that I actually thought was coming to the last was going to win.
Does it change today?
I mean, I backed Sky Pirate Annie Post. That's a bit of a lie. There was that result, but I mean, by then
You had sort of got off him a bit.
It was almost an afterthought, wasn't it? You know, I'd got off him. I had better results in the race on the day. So yeah, no, it's not been. You know, it's been one of my worst ever festivals. But you've got to just crack on with it, haven't you? There's one day to go.
Exactly that. Keith Melrose makes his first appearance of the week here on What a Shout, betting editor of the Racing Post. I said to you yesterday we were lucky to spend the afternoon together. I said, tease us something that you're excited about. You went, it's Gold Cup Day, man. I'm excited about the whole day.
Yes, but the Gold Cup, it just stands out a mile, doesn't it? It's one of the 2 or 3 moments in the racing year that your heart just goes before the start, irrespective of what you've backed, irrespective of anything else. The circling at the start of the Gold Cup, you get the butterflies. It's an absolutely tremendous race. It stands out a mile today.
Yeah, and you're very excited. Just a quick word on how the week's been for you, Keith?
Worse than Keels. I've not even had... but what I always do, but... As always, when I have a bad Cheltenham, I've always got one in the Midlands National.
Which we will be covering a little bit later on. Don't worry, indeed. The racing does go on after Cheltenham. Don't you worry about that. And completing the quintet of misery, because it can't have been a good day for the books yesterday, Pat Cooney.
Yeah, good morning, fellas. Yeah, not a good day at all yesterday for the bookmakers. And we got to the last race, Mount Ida, 3-1 favourite. Someone said to me before the race, where would you like this to be in run? And I said 20 lengths behind, looking like pulling up. Well, I got my wish and it's still won. So not a good day, but all guns blazing today, all being well.
Great to have you back, Pat. You've been making the show this week. Okay, shall we crack on then? The 120, the Triumph Hurdle. Oh, man, is this just going to go and win? Zanna here. Let's go to Pat Cooney then at the minute now. If you'd have told me at the start of the week that Tritonic was pushing 4-1, I'd have bitten your hand off.
Yeah, the way the market has gone, certainly since yesterday, is that punters just want to be with the Irish horses and to the exclusion of the UK ones. If you promised me today 7 UK trained winners at Cheltenham, then we'd have a fabulous day as bookmakers. The bookmakers just want UK based winners. You look at Tritonic, it does seem inconceivable he should be around about 7-2, doesn't it? We were wondering, would he even be favourite after Kempton? 7-2, he's a backable price, and nothing's happened to him. It's just the volume of money seems to be for the Irish horses. Zanna here, a well-backed 11-10, but people worry a bit about Tritonic's jumping. I think there's only 2 hurdles in the last 7 furlongs on this track, so he can make a mistake and he's still got 3/4 of a mile to recover from it. But Zanna here, the time gurus are in love with him, aren't they? But I mean, it does look a misnomer, doesn't it? One's 11-10, one's 7-2. And then you throw in Rachel Blackmore on Quicksillos, separating them at 5-2. But that's the Henry de Bromhead factor. The market is all wrong, really, for me in this race.
Okay, that's interesting, isn't it? Has this got a bit, Keels, of Ballymore about it? Has Tritonic become brave man's game?
Yeah, it might have been, but I think that's unfair. I mean, it's become established that the Irish have in the novice divisions, they have much the best horses. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. But the Triumph's a completely different type of novice race, isn't it? We already know that Tritonic is good enough to serve it up to group class middle distance flat horses.
Yeah.
So what it's done over hurdles is neither here nor there. It's if he can clear them as well as he cleared the last at Kempton, he's got to have a serious chance. Like you said, if you'd have bitten your hand off at 4-1, I'm going to go back in again.
Same.
And if Zanna here wins, then fair play. He might be really good. As things stand, his form is miles better than Tritonic's over hurdles, doesn't it? It's stood up really well with the Boodles. It's stood up really well with the Boodles. You can't argue with that. It's not just the Irish fact; it's the fact the form has stood up really well. He's another horse, a little bit like Envoy Allen, who hasn't had what you would call the ideal prep as a run for nearly 3 months. which is strange. I mean, it's a long while since a Triumph Hurdle winner did that, but I mean, just wait and see.
So regular viewers will know that we're keen on Tritonic. We're keeping the face. First time tongue tie for Zanna here, Keith. Which way are you playing this?
I really delved into Zanny here last night when I just watched the replays again and again just to really get a handle on him because I knew the money was coming. And Tritonic is still the bet, but for exactly the reason the other guys have said, he's too big a price now. I think I have conceded some ground to the Zanny here fans. I think he is the likelier winner, but you can't let a horse that's that good on the flat go off at 4-1 for a Triumph Hurdle. It's obscene, frankly, and I will be backing Tritonic, but I will be a little bit more willing to accept Zanna here winning than I was.
A word on Calixios, Keels. Looks like the chaser in the pack, doesn't he, I guess?
Yeah, he does. And, he's obviously a very decent horse as well. And obviously the money with the Rachel Blackmore, Henry the Bombhead horses are absolutely flying. You can't rule him out.
No.
You know what I mean? He's not just was third in the betting. He's now second in the betting. You know what I mean? He's not likely just the only one that might win. He's got a serious chance himself.
OK, that's the top three in the betting. We're pretty much concentrating on them. Wide open now. We've got to go to the County Hurdle. I guess, Pat Cooney, it's all been about the Irish Raiders in this.
Yeah, I think with the exception of Dan Skelton's third time lucky, then it's dominated by the Irish horses at the top of the market. As we speak at the moment, Ganapathy, Paul Townend's just about favourite. Champagne Gold has been popular as well for the Bromheads. That had two entries. That could have run in the last race today, so connections coming here. The money horse of the Irish trained horses, as we speak right now, is You Raise Me Up. Good two runs, 2 wins this season, trained by Mark Brazel. No fool, this fellow, he trained the English Grand National winner. Remember that one, number 6 Spelldale? So that's the money horse of the race. But as I say, if you fancy a domestic runner, third time lucky's in the equation, but you have to scratch below the surface and go way down to the next one in is a 50 Ball. Now, 50 Ball's an interesting horse for Gary Moore. Not had a good Cheltenham thus far, but was second in the Betfair Hurdle, and that's 14-1. So, as I touched on earlier, these UK trained horses, they're very backable prices, but the money seems to be going over the water.
Comprehensive look at the market then, and his thoughts from Pat Cooney. Keith, any chance of a British success here?
Not that I saw particularly. You've got Skeltons are laying one out for the race as usual with third time lucky, but I wouldn't be. I mean, the one I sort of picked out at bigger prices was Durasso. I think he's extremely well handicapped and probably been laid out for a big spring handicap, so I'll be taking a chance on him. But the County is a little bit of pay your money and take your chance, really, and you'll be getting good place concessions as well. So it's another race that I'd be playing each way.
Over the years, Kills, we've seen these swings, haven't we, British and Irish. We must say that even though they're 17-4 a minute and the dominance, we all love Irish horses. They all love British horses as well. Yeah. Not a Ryder Cup thing, is it?
I care less where a horse is trained, as long as my money's on it. But I mean, I've backed all the wrong Irish ones and, all the wrong English ones as well. So it hasn't made any difference to me whatsoever.
What are we going for in the County?
No, I mean... Look, I mean, it's been Skelton Mullins this race for the last 6 years. One of them has won it. But third time lucky probably needs to be the best British trained novice to win that. Not for 143, doesn't he? And we've seen what they're like. So, look, Eclair de Buffo 2 years ago came swinging round the corner on the bit, went 3 lengths clear. Got Jack Kenny asked him far too soon. He was getting pegged back, wasn't going to win, unseated at the last. Came back, was off a mark of 135. Came back last year off 149 over fences. Massive improver. Finished second in the Grand Annual. Went up to 153. And the Irish handicapper still let him go off 135 back over hurdles. Something the British handicapper would never do. And the British handicapper still only gave him £4, which had he improved £18 in Britain, he'd have gone up £14 over hurdles. Look at Copperhead, who ran in the Pertemps final yesterday. Right. When he returned back over hurdles after his chase campaign, he was £30 higher than the last time he ran over hurdles. Right. And Eclair de Buffo is effectively on the same mark, though he's improved. Purely on known form, he's the best handicap horse at the meeting. Whether he can do it back over hurdles is another matter.
Sea of Blue yesterday for him as well.
Yeah, he's got to be a massive player. I backed Edward Stone. I just think he likes a strong gallop. He was 6th in the Triumph. The 7th has won a handicap. The 3rd has won the Marsh. The winner has won the Arkle. So I mean, it was a good Supreme.
If you'd have told me that 50 Ball, who was of course ahead of him last time in the Betfair, was pushing out to 16-1, I wouldn't have believed you. So he'll be my tip in that. Apparently, Connection said yesterday, if this is the case, that he didn't have the great run going into that. 50 Ball, God, that'd be a story for Gary Moore, wouldn't it? A good luck charm for him. Let's hope that comes the way. That's the County then. Let's move on to the Albert Bartlett race. A race that Pat Cooney has. I mean, who's going to go off favourite in this? Will it be Statler?
Narrowly, much depends on how Rachel's getting on between now and then, I suppose. But, the Albert Bartlett always used to be the start of the comeback for the bookmakers. Whatever the score was going into the Albert Bartlett from 2014, look at the winners, 33, 14, 11, 16, 33 and 50. The party spoiled a little bit by Monkfish at 5-1 last year. So it's that type of race, isn't it? Most of these are just no real solid-looking lines of form. Statler just about favourite 9-2. I think Streets of Doyen's an interesting one. A string of ones by its name prior to last time, but that last one was over 2 miles. Better form over the further. Streets of Doyen would appeal to me, and there has been money for it. And John McConnell, he hasn't got a big string particularly, but he always seems to have loads of winners when he comes over here. So that would be my pick, but I wouldn't put you off back in a couple of fancy prices based on the stats on this race.
Okay, Kills, we like one in this, don't we? Should we get it out of the way? It's Alaphilippe, isn't it?
Yeah,
Big
I
Phil,
mean,
they call him.
I've liked Alaphilippe for a while. The question mark is ground, obviously.
He's got a point win on
He's
Yielding.
got a point win. His point win was on the fastest ground he ran on, which is
Yeah.
a good sign. I mean, he's tough. He ran in loads of points. He's won all by one of his hurdle races, and he really enjoyed the step up to 3 mile last time. Won easily. I do like him. I was back in Streets of Doyen yesterday. I mean, the cat crept out of the bag and ran down the hill, didn't it? Like, you know what I mean? It was like 20-1 2 days ago. He's 6s now.
Yeah.
That string of ones all last autumn on good ground, including a 5-length defeat of Flooring Porter. I mean, he was getting a stone, but Flooring Porter was rated 131 at the time, and he's going to be 167 now, something like that. And then a win here, after which, when ridden by Richard Johnson, after which he said, I think they want to come back here for the Albert Bartlett.
Right.
Ignore last run, 2 mile bottomless ground. Just needed it, didn't he? Just needed a run into him. He's going to run well. He's too short now. I need Alaphilippe will actually get me out of trouble if he finishes in the first 3, because I've got one of these multiples with a few non-run and no bet
Totting up then.
thingies, and Shantou Flyer at 16s and 20s. Come on, Teddy.
We need to get you over that one.
So I need that one. So pray for him for me, please. I'll still be able to afford the weekend. Then.
Well, I'm with you all the way. The British sinking ship, perhaps. Is this the one for the Irish, or is there a British novice that can take this out?
It's another vote for Alaphilippe for me. The point when on Yielding was one thing, but I looked into his pedigree last night, a lonely night in a hotel, and the winning half brother.
We'll believe you.
Things I could have done, but I actually looked at Alaphilippe's pedigree instead. His winning half brothers, 2 best efforts were on good ground at Musselburgh. His dam is a half sister to the dam of the Boss's Oscar, who obviously handles these conditions very well. And the sire's Morozov, who doesn't have many good horses, frankly, but the ones that are good opening batsmen, I want to remember, form on good ground. If you looked at only his pedigree, you'd say it was a good ground horse. So I am not worried about conditions, and he's battle hardened. Yeah. He's as game as his human namesake. And I just think I think he's got a really good chance. He's a sort of horse that runs well on an Albert Bartlett.
3 ticks for Big Phil in the Albert Bartlett then. Come on, Paddy. Okay, 3:05, the Blue Ribbon, the race of the week. Certainly has been one of the betting races of the week. It's the Gold Cup time, Pat Cooney. What price A Plus Tard now?
Well, A Plus Tard is levelled off now at 7-2. There was a great deal of interest yesterday when the Bromhead was firing in the winners. But Albert Photo is very, very solid, in the market. He's now 9-4 favourite. The drifter in the race is Champ. Again, an English runner, Nicky Henderson. So I think at the start of the week, I was surprised Album Photo. If you'd said to me he's 9-4 on Gold Cup Day, I'd have thought, oh, no. There'll be bookmakers brave enough to go 3 to field at least. But he's very, very solid. We know all about him, what little we do see of him, but he's very solid in the market. A Plus Tard is bound to be second in. Champ the Drifter, a bit of love for Manella Window, of course, another de Bromhead runner. And when he ran at Christmas, Rachel Blackmore did ride him prior to him falling early in the race. Connections do seem bullish about him being here on this ground and so forth. Again, I don't know. There's money for him. I'm trying to fancy Lost in Translation. I don't know if I should just have a word with myself, but I do think he's a big price.
I've not backed A Plus Tard yet, okay? I want, but he's the one I'm going to back in the race. When should I back him? Am I going to get 9-2?
Possibly. Not if Rachel rides a couple of winners early, you won't know. But I think so, yeah. Alpine Photo is very, very solid in the market, I have to say. I'm surprised at that.
Yes, well, I want to come to you, Keith, with this, because A Plus Tard, we've got to start with him, I guess, because we're going down the line on him, are we, Keels? A plus tard. Of course.
Yeah.
You've gone British, haven't you?
I've gone British. I don't think it's a very good race at all. I don't know what all the fuss is about, to be honest. I mean, Gamble was favourite because he isn't running against anything better than last year, really. I just think it's an average Gold Cup, like the other two that he's won. And he was only a neck better than Santini last year, and Santini is the same price to finish in the first 4 as he is to win. And I know which one's more likely. So that's the way I'm going to play.
We could go on about this forever, but I think Santini is probably the most depressing horse to follow.
Well, yeah, he might be. He might be, but his form figures at Cheltenham are something
First-time visor.
something like 1-3-1-2-3 or something, or 2-2 or something. You know, he's won twice at the trials meeting, and he's been in the frame in 3 different championship races, at the festival, which incidentally is what Allaho did before winning the what's it. So he's got. You know, his Cheltenham credentials are impeccable. He's not a brilliant horse by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think there's a brilliant horse in the race. I really don't.
Well,
the horse
history would dictate, Keith, that Kills is missing the obvious here with Alboon Photo, who bids to join a very, very select. I read your piece in the paper this morning, your preview for it. This is history waiting to be made, isn't it?
Yeah, he would stand out a mile in that company, though, wouldn't he? Arco, Best Mate, Alboon
Of course.
Photo. It's like Les Dawson playing the piano.
Cottage Rake, and, yeah.
Come on, let's face it. There were miles better chasers. There were miles better Gold Cup winners than Best Mate as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Right.
The thing is,
You know what I mean?
the other thing about Alboon Photo is even if he won 3 Gold Cups today, you could point at random at a Gold Cup winner this century, and I'd probably think more of it. I'd really like it more because you don't see him enough. You don't know him.
His win at Tremor.
It's a good job the name Photo in the name, really. You don't see him live, do you? You might as well have a photo.
Well, there's been lots said about his name. That's maybe why people don't like him. You know, the French name. I know that Bruce Willis is big on that. But his win at Tremor on New Year's Day, we've rated that higher than his win in the Gold Cup last year. So Kills has obviously got a point. Tactics will be key. Kenboy, Frodon, they're going to go hard up front. Native River, can he lay up with them on this ground?
Well, what he'll do is if Bryony Frost decides halfway, I want to get a breather into Frodon, Dickie Johnson will say, no, you don't. And go past because, you know, Native River, Frodon's a faster horse, but Native River needs them to go hard all the way through. I think I can see Dickie Johnson about halfway when Bryony Frost just has a little
Going
pause.
for it.
And he'll just go, right, I've got to go for it here because it's 4 years since Sizing John's Gold Cup. Dickie didn't go fast enough that day.
Yeah.
And I think he might know it now. He needs to go on Native River.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 horses you'd really, really love to see winning are Native River and Frodon, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely.
They've been around for ages. They go to every dance. Native River's 11, and the grounds are getting faster and faster and faster, isn't it? I mean, it's just not for him, is it? I'd love to see him do it.
Yeah.
And I don't, and obviously they're going to get in each other's way as well.
He brings the best
the
off
fences
the
are going to
race,
get. Yeah, he does. That Sandown one's the best piece of chase form this
But
season.
also until yesterday it was.
Until yesterday.
But
That's
just
the
that
staying
in-
chase form this season.
Champ and Manila Indo. Is Champ the lay of the race for Kills?
I just think Champ's just going to be too keen, isn't he?
Because they've got to change tactics, surely.
Yeah.
He must do, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be too keen.
But
I mean, if
can you
he's
trust
up there
him-
as well.
Can you trust him to do the same as he did at Newbury? You know, I'm not sure he's a horse. He's got so much ability, but is he a horse you put your life on? I don't think
at
he is
any
at all.
stage he was going to win the
But
RSA, did we, until the last
A
fence?
quick word for Manila Indo. I don't fancy him at all, but
Yeah.
Champ beating Allaho in the RSA 1 year last year's one thing. But Manila Indo had the speed to lay up with Allaho, and you saw what he did yesterday.
Yeah.
That's a big tick for him. I don't fancy him particularly, but more than Champ getting to Allaho, it's impressive that Manila Indo could lay up with him.
So, a reminder of the tips. Pat, Gold Cup, tip one out the park.
I'm going to go for Manila Indo at the price. I just think he comes alive at Cheltenham.
Okay, superb. It's A plus tard for me. Everything that I've seen about him visually since the Ryanair last year looks stay. I think Rachel Blackmore will win. Keels.
So I was just Santini each way. He's the same price to finish in the first 4 because bookmakers are betting first 4 places as the fav is to win.
You do get horses that turn up to this race every year and show their true colours.
Sentiment aside, on pure betting terms, that is the best value in the race.
Okay, and Keith, A plus tard?
A plus tard. I can see 6. If there's 6 jumping 2 out within a couple of lengths of the lead, and A plus tard is one of them, he must win because he's the fastest horse. And I think I do fancy him.
Oh, that will be the Gold Cup as the dust is coming down. We must go to the Hunter Chase, of course, the Fox Hunter. No amateur riders this year, same course and distance. I think we can whittle through this one. But Pat, has there been a buzzer? I guess Bill Away. He was given a strong word in the comments this morning in the paper by Willie Mullins.
Yeah, Billaway is a solid favourite. He's 11-4, been hovering around 5-2 and 3. He'll be favourite. Bob and Co. popular 9-2. You worry about the ground for him. It came to pass, won this race last year at 66-1, beating Billaway by 10 lengths. you watch the race again, and I said to you they're going to be beaten again, 1.5, 1.11.4. It came to pass as a solid option. Some decent horses at big prices, but bill away the money horse. But it came to pass. Nothing wrong with him, I don't think, at 15-2.
Oh, it was a terrible prep run from him, wasn't it? I mean, I'm on Shamaron. I think this might be in some way Nichol's winner of the week. He doesn't train it, Sam Loxton does,
Mate,
but it's pretty much on his yard and he owns it.
Mate,
So
Cheltenham's decision to remove the Grand Annual from the Friday is their way of saying, can people please get lost just straight after the Gold Cup? The last 3 races are an absolute snore fest for the festival, and 3 in a row is terrible, really.
Well, let's get through it.
I don't know anything about Hunter Chases. I neither know nor care what is going to win it, and I can't. There's no point in pretending and being a fraud and telling you I've got a horse.
And that brings us beautifully into the safe gambling kills. You don't have to play every race. You probably won't even be watching it then. Okay, and maybe for Rachel Blackmore or something like that, I guess. Or okay, bring it back.
Yeah. Again, I'm not a massive watcher of Hunter's Chases, but Bob & Co is the best horse in this race. I'll be having a small bet on him.
Okay, Bob & Co does look like a transformed individual. The new Mare's Chase, shall we go here? After Allaho yesterday, it was always likely that Ellie May was going to be absolutely smashed off the balls. Goshen's half-sister, would you believe? A lot more straightforward.
Yeah, she can win. She probably will win, but I've actually had 2 bets in this race. I mean, they're not my favourite races, but I mean, just the prices. There's enough runners for each way betting, and it is not a deep race at all.
So do you want me to prod you after the Hunter Chase to wake you up for this?
Ellie May beat Shattered. Yeah, you better add. Ellie May beat Shattered Love 5 lengths last time, but that was over 2 mile. It was actually Shattered Love's best ever run on RPRs over 2 miles. She's won a JLT here. She's running a Gold Cup and a Ryanair. This is much weaker for her, so she'll run well. And the other one is Magic of Light. She's actually officially the best horse in the race. She's 20-1 this morning. She's best officially on official figures, best horse in the race. 20-1, getting weight off Ellie May and Cole Reevy, and is a fast ground front runner.
Yeah, I won't be with Ellie
It's
May.
It's absolutely. I mean, that's the way to play the race. I've only backed Shattered Love each way, but 20's Magic of Light.
20. It was 20s last night.
I don't know what it is now. Jessie Harrington this morning in your members section in your paper, she says she's bounced off this ground. That Grand National was exactly what you want to see for this race, because she perked you up, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's a massive price. I thought she was 10 yesterday.
Yeah, so nice. She's just drifted
because of these money.
What
about Cool Reevy? She got a boost, obviously, with Mount Ida somehow winning the Kim Muir yesterday.
You'd balled up your slip on Mount Ida, hadn't you?
I did. It torn away. Thank goodness this is all digital these days. I had given up on that, yeah.
It's a very warm race. There's 4 really good mares in it, and I've backed the 2 that are big prices each way. That's basically it. That's as simple as that.
Oh, Magic Light. There we go. Might have a buzzer for you out there. Final race then is the Martin Pipe Conditionals. And again, this has been a feverish betting race, anti-post-wise. What price, gentlemen, to me for Team Mullins now, Pat Cooney?
Well, this is very reminiscent of Sancerre when he came over from France, lightly raced and trotted up very hard to get a proper handle on. Gentle to me, we've not seen him for 34 days. Runs in a first-time hood. There's been money for him all week. People have just been gently taking the prices. This does look a JP McManus special to me, really. He seems a miserable price on the face of it, 3-1. Who knows? He's off 139. He could be a 159. He could be a 129. I've no idea, really. The money suggests he'll run a mighty race. I'll give a favourable mention to Gabinarco of Gavin Cromwell. Had a winner yesterday. Draw a line through that naught last time out. He got badly hampered early on. Previous form solid. I could recommend you backing horses at 16, 20-1 on the each-way terms and so forth. But if there is, dare I say, a Grade 1 horse in this race, it can only be Gentleman to me. Very significant. Willie Mullins has only just run him the once. He could just be a banker. I just don't know. I'd rather be keeping on side of him if I can than against him.
He looks ridiculously short at the minute, guys, doesn't he? I think he's wearing a first-time hood. They talked about it for the Ballymore afterwards. Obviously, they had a big horse for that in O'Domenil. So, Keels, how do we play this?
Well, there were other horses that could be just as promising, aren't they? And Gabby Knacker's obviously one of them. I mean, that wasn't his running last time. He's got a third to Bob Ollinger to his name. The other one, Galopin de Champs, who travelled like a breeze behind Appreciate It at Leopardstown, finished 6th in the end. And obviously he was very highly rated when he came over. He was going off at evens and odds on and in good races. And it didn't work, so he stumbled into a handicap. He's definitely bred for the trip, even though it might have looked like he didn't get home at Leopardstown last time, and better ground will suit too. So I've backed him. I've also backed past festival winner Eglantine de Soy at a big price.
Money for this yesterday?
Well, I think there has to be. Obviously, she beat Concertista in the mares in the Dawn Run. She was a 50-1 shot then. One of the few times she's ever run on decent ground. She got placed in 2 Grade 1s directly after that on goodish ground, and she's only run on goodish ground twice since. Once went 4th in the Ladbroke at Leopardstown last season, and once went 5th on a reappearance on first run for Paul Nicholls at Wincanton, when she shaped really well and much better than all the other Jared Sullivan horses that had come over and joined Nicholls on their first run for him. And she hasn't had good ground since. She still managed to finish second at Cheltenham in a handicap in December, proving again that she likes the track. I just think she's going to run well at a price.
Wow, there you go. That was convincing me. Keith, what do you reckon?
I've had a big price one, but I'm not anywhere near as convincing as Keel's, to be honest. What price would you have got when this race was coined in 2009 that David Pipe wouldn't win it for the first 12 years?
Yeah, right.
I've his second string first on the QE 66-1 is weighted better than a 66-1 shot. It's got form on good ground. It's one of those that should be 25s, 33s, but is 66s. So that's the sort of horse I like to back.
The O'Learys tend to have a horse going this close in this every year. Fire Attack for me with Oakley Brown on a young lad we're going to hear a lot more about in the future. How much do you put emphasis on the riders in this, guys? Is it everything?
No, it's the horse, isn't it? I mean, look at the horses.
A lot of people do. They look
at the horses that have won it. I mean, we could have won a couple of them, couldn't we?
Exactly.
Steady.
You've got graded horses winning this race. It doesn't matter who's on them.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, all right. Okay, great stuff. That was the Martin Pipe conditional hurdle then. All right, time for the naps, I guess, guys. Gold Cup day. What is the Kealy Great White Hope?
Vinny the Hoddy, 3:15 Kempton Saturday. Can I say that?
Well, actually, you've given longevity to the show, Kills.
In terms of price now, I mean, it's one of these things. We have such early deadlines when it comes to filling in copy. Like you said, Magic of Light was 10-1. But by the time we went to bed last night, it was 20-1, which is ludicrous. And it's still that priced. And as an each way bet, that's just too big. So I'll nap that.
Magic of Light, and lots of people scurrying on their keyboards going, Vinny the what? Okay, of course, Oliver Sherwood's
We've got a double tomorrow because Keel's also fancies time to get up like I do. Was Kim Muir favourite? I was all over him for the Kim Muir. He's going for the Midlands National instead. Yeah, that'll just win, won't it?
What wins Gold Cup Day?
A Plus Tard wins the Gold Cup. Wait, hold on. Try and get at 4-1, or you want to be brave and hope for 9-2, but try and wait for a bit 4-1 A Plus Tard and back him for the Gold Cup.
Yeah, I'll give you Shamron in the Hunter Chase, a race that the other guys are not bothered about whatsoever. He'll run well at a price. Pat Cooney, complete the thought timer.
Yeah, well, prices dictate opinions. If you're telling me Tritonic 7-2, I have to back him in the Triumph and nap him at 7-2. I actually think he should be favourite, so I've got to be all over him at 7-2. Get off to a good start, and 7 UK winners today would be gorgeous.
Okay, happy days. Right, so we gave a word to the Midlands Grand National. Shall we have a quick look at that? I think we've got time to do it. Believe it or not, there is racing on Saturday. There's a walkover tomorrow at Kempton.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's not go down that route.
You should give him £10 for that. You put Maracuja up £10 for that walkover, shouldn't he, just for a laugh?
15 grand for it, isn't it?
Listen.
It's the only winner I've found this week.
Yeah, but a quick word about that Kempton meeting. We spoke about it briefly in the office yesterday, Keith. I guess with numbers down this week, social runners, etc. It's for horses that are balloted out usually of Cheltenham, isn't it?
Yeah, you'd have thought there'd be more people that, you
look
at how strong.
last year as well, to be fair.
Well, McFabulous one on the card last year.
On
the slopes, the great on the slopes
the
one.
fields were generally small, though, weren't they?
Yeah.
Delier d'Estreval won that silver trophy, didn't it?
Yeah.
A horse you really like.
It's a good horse, and it was a good race. It was good form that last year, and you assume that more people just go into Cheltenham handicaps, assuming they'll get balloted out so they can run in that good Kempton race for good money, but nobody did.
All right, well, let's get some help from Pat Cooney. Pat, curveball time. It's almost like the day after the wedding, isn't it, at Uttoxeter? But it is their big day in the sun. It seems even if they had bleating sunshine, it would still be soft up there. What price this John Joe O'Neill and JP McManus horse now?
Well, he's now 9-2, hasn't he? As Keith said, he could have run and been favourite to win in the Kim Muir. We all know we all want to have a winner at Cheltenham. It must have been a big fool to give up not running him and waiting for this race. As a result of that, he's got that progressive profile. He's a solid 9-2 chance. A light betting race at the moment. One I would say that there has been a few quid around for is Kustar Sivila. I think he spent probably 5 years being in my notebook, and he's still in it after a run that suggested he was back in business last time. His form figures P5, U5, 2. That would put you off, but he's so well weighted. I think Kustar will run a big race. Sam Twiston-Davies aboard. But you just get this time to get up. It's got a very sexy profile, hasn't it? I don't think it'll get any bigger.
I thought Seaston Spirit might return to form here, but this is all about one horse, right? Is it?
It is, yeah. Well, Bet365 were standout 5-1 last night. I know because that's when I've backed them. But so somebody
You were studying pedigrees in your hotel room.
No, this was before I left the office last night. But Kealy sat there and said, "This thing just wins, you know." And I said, "You're absolutely right," because I was obviously all over him for the Kim Muir as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, so somebody at Bet365 doesn't fancy him too much, but I do. I think he'll win.
I'd have backed him in the Kim Muir, I have to say, Keels.
Well, you know, that's why I ended up far more confident about Shantou Flyer.
Because he was out.
Because he was out. I thought, hang on, everything that I feared is out. I mean, Shantou Flyer's finished third, but, you know, he was off a £3 higher mark and he was closer to the winner in the Kim Muir than he was to time to get up at Wincanton, on ground at Wincanton that he likes more than he liked yesterday. I mean, John Joe O'Neill's last winner of this race was Synchronised. Who ran in it?
Fence, wasn't it?
Who ran in it on his fourth outing over fences?
Every time McCoy rode that horse, it was the greatest ride ever, wasn't it?
Exactly, yeah. He won on his fourth outing over fences. This is time to get up's fourth outing over fences.
Yeah.
You know,
He's got form of Monkfish.
He wins.
It used to be JP O'Brien, didn't
he was 11 lengths second to Monkfish in a hurdle race. He had the stewards got involved when he was third when he was beaten on his debut behind Canelo at Aintree over 2.5 mile.
Yeah.
He's going to be a stayer. He wins this. He ends up favourite for the Welsh National next year as well, doesn't he? A bit like Synchronised. Long-term plan to win some big races.
Bit more enthusiastic than Synchronised, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
So far, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. He did impress me in the paper last time as well. That's a clean sweep then for the Fav in the Midlands National. There you go. Confident shout from the guys. Thank you for watching this week. You've made the show. It's been absolutely fantastic, the feedback we have had. Thank you, Pat Cooney from Bet365. We'll be back next week for a proper debrief.
Yes, and focus on the flat next week. But let's see if we can all back a few winners today at the Cheltenham Festival.
Racing Clues will be back next week, Kills, as will you, I hope, to debrief with us.
I'm having a week off, mate.
I'd
like to say much deserved, but
we'll get him
I'm
back
not sure about that. But
we are releasing you out into the wild today, aren't we? So look out the wild, I think. Good luck today, wherever you're playing.
All right, cheers, buddy.
It's been great fun having Kills in. Keith, you're sticking around. Happy to have you as well. Aplutard all the way, my man?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I've already backed Native River each way, but that was before I knew the ground was going to be rattling quick. So it's going to be Aplutard in the Gold Cup.
Brilliant. Okay, we'll be looking for some 4-1 on that. Good luck wherever you're playing. Happy Gold Cup Day, everyone. It's been a great week, hasn't it? More to come still. Only a couple of hours away now from the big one. All right, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, #WhatAShout. Don't forget to download the free must-have Racing Post app. You can do that on the App Store, the Google Play Store itself. Gamble responsibly. That's what it's all about. We want to see you tomorrow for the Midlands National.